Deja vu for South Africa in the World Cup, this time losing to the Netherlands in the 50 over World Cup. Repeat of what had basically took place in the T20 World Cup. And we're going to talk about it. We're going to try to review it and speak about what went wrong in this match. I think the only saving grace for South Africa can be that when we lost to the Netherlands in the T20s, we got knocked out of the tournament and we didn't have a chance to come back and recover. Luckily, this is only the third game of the tournament, so we can recover. We can play against the other teams and try and come back, and that's the mentality that the South Africans should have. I'm really peeved off about this performance today. I am upset, hurt, multiple of emotions today, but we can't be negative with so many games left to play. If South Africa had to take the mentality of what certain fans will have going into this and saying, "Oh, this is but it's over," and have that negative mentality, how can you try and win anything? So we can't have that mentality. We need to take it game by game and put this one as quickly behind us as possible. I'm going to try to analyze what went wrong today as best as I can, from my opinion, with all the irritation that I have of today's game. But before we get going, before we get started, please subscribe to the channel, click that notification bell for all future videos. Don't forget to also smash the like button, comment, and share. Download the latest issue of Cricket Fanatics magazine monthly. Every issue is 100% free, straight to your inbox every month. Link is on the screen as well as in the description. Support us by becoming a patron today and go to cricketfanaticsmag.com for all your regular updates. Without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. A very good evening, or very bad evening, and welcome to Cricket Fanatics magazine. This is your review show. I'm your host, Khalid Mohideen, and this is the show where we talk about everything that happened between the Netherlands and South Africa game, the third match for South Africa in the World Cup. So let me start things off with saying that I am extremely peeved off with the performance today. I think it was a completely pathetic performance from everybody today. I don't think there was really any performances that we can really say was good today. It was terrible from everybody. Perhaps you could say Marco Jansen, he bowled well today. 2 for 27 after 8. But where do things go wrong is the big question. So this is my analysis of what went wrong. The Proteas won the toss today, and given their success batting first in India so far, and seeing how many teams have had success batting first in this tournament, I thought it was a strange decision to bowl first. That's the first step. I think that was a poor decision by the captain to do so. I get that because of the weather conditions that they presume that it's going to swing around. Yeah, but the weather cleared up before the game started. There was sun that came out. So there wasn't really necessarily overhead conditions when they started playing. So first and foremost, that was, I think, the mistake that was made is actually bowling first. Now, it didn't seem that way, and it's probably easy to say that on hindsight now that we've seen what took place. But the bowling today lost us the match. I think set up started everything, started the downfall and the lack in belief in this team. South Africa had Netherlands at 82 for 5, then 112 for 6, and then 140 for 7. And then terrible bowling, not clinical enough, poor fielding, death bowling was poor again. All of those things came into fruition, and what took place over there is that we collapsed completely. We let the game slip away from us. The biggest disappointment of today's game is the 32 extra runs that we gave away. 21 wides. It's the most runs wides we've bowled in an ODI ever. That was completely pathetic today. One no ball, 10 leg byes. We gifted the Netherlands 32 runs. That 32 runs um, was extra scoreboard pressure that we put on ourselves where it should have been an easy chase. We had no intensity. Look at what we said in the preview. I said specifically the headline on that previous thumbnail was keep up the intensity. We lacked the intensity today, completely in the field. We dropped catches, gave away singles, gave away unnecessarily twos, missed a lot of shots in the field on the boundaries. We did everything that majority of fans wanted the four seam attack to play in this particular pitch, and I think that was a correct decision. But the plans, the plans that they used when things started to go a little shady is a concern for me, and that has to go down to the captaincy. And I'm criticizing Temba Bavuma's captaincy today because the decision that he made with regards to what lengths he told the bowlers to bowl in that latter stages, particularly in the last 10. We we were in the position 7 week. The Netherlands we were in a strong position. Netherlands had 7 wickets down, and we bowling defensively, bowling shorter deliveries, bowling slower deliveries, allowing them to time the ball and hit it to the boundaries. That was a bad move today, um, and that is something that was uh, a a terrible decision today from that perspective. And I think those were bad decisions, bad plans that were made. I mean, look at what the Netherlands did. They brought a little piece of paper with McDowd on the field, and they constantly communicated with the coaching between the coaching staff and the players. I don't know if that's allowed, but it happened. And the way the Netherlands bowled was consistent, back of the length deliveries, aiming at the stumps, and just put it there. And that's how you had to bowl on this pitch. We knew that this pitch wasn't moving and wasn't swinging when we started the game, right? We had success bowling accurately and bowling at the stumps, and then we changed the bowling plans. I don't know what the thought process was there with regards to doing that. We bowled a hell of a lot of slower deliveries that wasn't necessary. We had to just put the ball on the money consistently. Regardless, we conceded 245 for 8. Like I said, um, from 140 for 7. Um, Gave away easy runs to Rula van der Merwe. We allowed him to come, a ex-South African that played Proteas matches, come and smack us around 29 of 19. Like, how embarrassing is that? Then a tail ender, Adrian Dutt, comes in and hits 23 of 9 balls, hits us for 6 3 6s. And then we allow the captain to take the game away from us, Scott Edwards, 78 of 69 balls. And at that moment, I started thinking, like, oh no, this is this might work on our mentality. This is gonna really test our mentality and how we're going to be able to perform. It was inevitable that at some point Quinny would go on a dip. It was inevitable that at some point Aiden Markram would not perform. And I said specifically that this was the game when Temba needed to step up, when Heinrich Klaassen needed to step up, and when David Miller needed to step up because they didn't perform in the first two games. And it was their chance to now play an innings because it was Quinton de Kock and Aiden Markram with the bat that kind of saves, and Rassie van der Dussen in the first two games that kind of saved South Africa by helping them really put on a massive score. Temba Bavuma, yes, even though he got a good delivery from Ruler first up, He needed he needed to perform today, and it was a terrible a terrible performance from him today. The whole approach to these innings from the get go with the maiden over that he faced, not trying to put pressure on the bowler early on, um, is was dumb. I think, or not dumb, was mis calculated. I think he needed to put pressure and try to knock the ball on around the field. When you have such a low, when you have a total like 245 to 246 target, knock the ball around, get singles, run between the wickets, put pressure on the bowlers. Because every single time you give them a dot delivery, the tails are up, and that was where we lacked. That particular, I mean, we started okay. It wasn't a bad start, you would say. Um, for that until we got to 22, and then Quinny gave his wicket away. Um, I mean, until we got to 36, and then Quinny gave his wicket away. An unnecessary shot. Rassi van der Dis, an unnecessary shot. Temba Vavuma, okay, good delivery, but approach all wrong today. I think too tentative, and not on the front foot enough today. But guys, let's just keep our heads over here. You can't be dropping your captain, especially when he averages that in ODIs. This is not the same as in T20 cricket, where we could have said yes, maybe you should drop him when he was captain because he wasn't necessarily hitting any strides. We can't run away. We can't get ahead of ourselves. Okay, so also we need to keep, like, I'm trying my best to remain calm. I'm very upset, but I was more upset the last time because we got knocked out by them. We still have an opportunity to be able to recover today. Um, I noticed something, and I noticed something that is interesting, that I can maybe notice, that I maybe noticed, and it's something that a lot of you guys asked for on the previous show, and I was kind of like maybe 60-40 about it. Um, it was about resting players in this match. Now we played the best 11 we could have played for these conditions today. I don't think anybody would disagree with that, and we ended up getting smacked, right? But Lungi didn't look as energetic as he looked in the last in the game against Australia. His speeds were down. He looked a bit tired. I heard that he had some issue with his thigh too. You guys might have been right, and some of the fans might have been right. And it's easy to say with hindsight. That's what I'm saying. You can always speak in hindsight, and then and say, "You see, I was right." We never do it in reverse when we have an opinion on something, and then the coaches go the opposite way, and they actually were right, and then we speak about it. But it might have been a good, might have, if Lungi wasn't 100% today, it might have been a good decision to maybe play Lizard Williams today or the extra spinner. Um, the mentality today was poor. We crumbled under pressure, and it's something that we are used to from a South African side. But we cannot, we cannot, as a South African unit. I know the fans might want to give up, and I know the fans might want to um, and I know this. The fans don't maybe want to have hope, but the Proteas need to. They need to focus on what they can do better. They play England this weekend. It's a massive game. We have a good, we have pretty good record against England in ODI cricket in recent times. We need the big guys to step up. Today, we made poor decisions because the game was still there to be won. And I'm disappointed with Klaassen today. I'm disappointed um, with David Miller today. I'm disappointed with Temba Bavuma today because even though we were in a difficult position, I mean, Aiden Markram got a peach of a delivery from Van Meekeren. I mean, Rassi van der Dissen's shot selection today was poor. And it was against someone that, what irritated me is it's against someone that they've played against and they know, man. We shouldn't be feeding into Roelof van der Merwe's confidence and his hype. Like, put pressure on him, go down there and attack him. Like, we played into we played into their hands today. It was just, I don't even know what to say anymore. It's just heartbreaking when you see the performances because I said it so many times. All I wanted to see is if we lose a game, that South Africa puts in 100% and leaves everything on the field. And we didn't do that today. The Netherlands, yes, they played well with the ball. They bowled really well, but the tails were up after that performance at the end. They should have never scored that many runs in the last 10 overs. We should have at least kept them under 200 runs. It was the planning over there with the ball was all over the show. And then once that happened, you could see in the field, you could see it happening. So shoulders drop, arguments, um, players blaming other players for poor fielding. Um, those are all things that happen. So I've said everything bad about the game. The I can't. I'm not gonna be. I'm not gonna have this negative loser mentality where I'm going to be like negative the entire time. Now every single time we go into every single game going forward, that would be a complete loser mentality to have. As fans, we should support our team even when they are performing poorly. Everybody goes through a bad game. Um, I mean, England hasn't had the best start to this tournament, but yet people still believe that they can come back and win. So why not South Africa with the form that they were in? We played extremely poor today, but we need to be able to find a way to put it behind us and perform. That will say a lot about our mentality. It will say a hell of a lot about our mentality if we can put this game behind us and focus on the next game. So that's my rant. I'm going to go into the live chat and see what you guys have to say over here. I'm not going to go right from the top. There's way too many comments that have flown in here. So I'm going to start right with Ahmad Shams. We should have won anyway, batting first or second, not under mining Netherlands, but some players wouldn't even make Division 1. Engelbrecht lost domestic contract in South Africa. Our batting was horrible, but dreadful bowling and atrocious fielding cost us the game. 22 wides and 109 runs conceded in the last 9 overs. We lost by 35 runs. That's true. We 100% correct, and that's what I've highlighted in today's game. Is that when that happened, you could see the mentality shift, and they need to work on that. They've got someone that's supposed to be a mental strengthening person in that team that should be preventing those things from happening. And we can't let us. We now have we now have to be at our best. The whole point was for us to be able to focus on the game at hand and not look at who we're playing against. But it was bad decision after bad decision today, and it started with the ball. The plans were all over the show. It was the incorrect plans to bowl on this particular wicket. This wicket was all about back of the length. The Netherlands, all they did is they put the ball in that same position consistently. All the bowlers, they just bowled the same lines and lengths consistently, and then allowed their spinners to get a little bit of turn. Yes, of course, but you can't have a team at 140 for 7 and then concede 199 overs. Like, you just can't allow that to happen. Azim says, I don't blame Timba. I think he did decent, says Azim. I don't agree there. Today, I don't think he was decent. We have lost 2 games against Netherlands under Bavuma now, says Dex. As disappointed as we are, we can agree that Netherlands is an emerging cricketing nation and they deserve more bilateral series against strong opposition in the near future. Aruna says Netherlands' run rate was 4 until 31st over and they ended on a run rate of 5.7. We must have bowled them under 200 as they were 80 for 5, and that's what I said early on in the game. Timba is undroppable apparently. I don't know why you would want to drop your captain, Munir. It doesn't make sense. And Temba hasn't been poor in ODI in ODIs in general, and we can't look at only ICC events because he hasn't. It's not like he's played in every single ICC event or in ever. So like, I don't think it's a big enough pool for you to say that he doesn't perform in ICC events. I mean, the T20, he should have never been selected in T20s in the first place. And there's plenty of games for him to recover. I mean, how can we have that mentality as a fan base where we just want to be we 3 games into a tournament, and we already want to pass negative energy onto the team. How do you expect them then to perform? Shocking performance today. It was a shocking performance today. Lost 8 overs, 89 runs. I thought our fielders are one of the best in the world. We fielded poorly today, though. No, number 10 batsman Arian Dutz was smashing Rabada and could see the death bowling was really bad. Very juicy, very juicy, slower balls. Predictable. Very. They should have bowled at their natural pace, put the ball in good positions, make it difficult for them to hit out of their strong condition, their strong areas. I still can't believe it, letting Arian Dutt to smash those sixes. Khalid, sorry, does a captain tell the bowler to bowl certain types of deliveries? I knew that a senior player or captain can give an advice or two, but never imagined the extent you mentioned. The plans will be discussed on how they're going to approach it, right? And then they'll set the field according to what the bowler wants to try to implement. The decisions would be made between the captains and the bowlers on what type of links they're going to bowl, and then the plan will be executed. Temba would have some say with regards to what they're going to be doing. The field is placed accordingly. That's why you've placed your field. So there was obviously a discussion amongst everybody or the leadership group that they should go with slower deliveries and slower bounces. It played right into the hands of the Netherlands. And what shocked me is the amount of slower ball bounces that were smashed away. I mean, fair enough, try it once or twice or 3 times and it doesn't work. But then continue with the same game plan was the thing that boggled me today. Today's match was the perfect setup for Vavuma to score with the bat. Harley, mark my words, this team is highly dependent on the Cock, Markram, and Miller, also Van der Dussen somewhat, as they only can perform in ICC tournaments. That's like half the batting line, more than half the batting lineup that you mentioned, bro. I don't think that's a fair statement because, I mean, we need to see how Heinrich Klaassen performs. I don't think this was the best of Heinrich Klaassen today. We've still got a hell of a lot of games to go, guys. We shouldn't be overly negative. We can be disappointed about this and criticize him for this performance, but let's bounce back from this and try and motivate and try to see how we can win the next game against England. South Africa again gave us should I hope that can do well in these tournaments. Really, Bavuma create pressure on team as well as the Cock to play shots like that. Need to replace Bavuma, didn't perform. I still stand by you can't just drop your captain. Like Azim says, you can't drop the captain. All of a sudden now, all teams in the World Cup have at least one win. You listed all the things that went wrong, but I'm wondering why it went wrong and why are they incapable of seeing and changing the wrongdoings in a game? And that's something that I don't get. South Africa's ability to be able to identify when things are going wrong and then change it has been poor in recent times. It's always been poor, actually. It's always been poor, particularly in ICC events. I don't know what the thinking is there and why that happens. There has to be some sort of psychological block or something that gets in the way of these players. I don't know what it is. Backman says Rassi and Klaassen gave away their wickets. Like today, I don't think you can criticize individuals only. It's not a day for that. I think this is a team criticism. The entire team needs to be criticized for the entire performance today. That's the Proteas and the coaching staff, and everybody needs to take responsibility for that performance. Actually, along with no performing team, Bavuma also plays slow. That adds pressure. But in ODIs, he doesn't necessarily bat that slow. In general, we need him to come into form now in this World Cup. It's a lacked intensity that against Australia. Yep. Apart from Aiden's wicket, everyone kind of gave the wickets away. That's true. We can still be positive about our bowlers. Just don't seem to be. We can still be positive, but our bowlers just don't seem to be learning and thinking on their feet. When they are put under pressure, they crack. That's true. Um, GB says we are still third on the log, which is a positive, I guess. Where are those clowns who were saying let's rest players? Pakistan was embarrassed by Zim, but they made the final last World Cup, hopefully. Um, you are too optimistic. You still think this team can defeat Afghanistan and Bangladesh? No, it's not optimistic. I believe that if South Africa play to their strengths in every match and focus on their game and try to perform, do the basics right, that they can beat any team on the day. What type of supporter are you of South Africa if you don't believe that they can beat any team? Like, if you're a professional sports person and you don't back yourself, then you'd never be able to do what Netherlands did today to South Africa. Like, you need to have a positive mentality. I mean, especially when you're only 3 games into the tournament. Imagine if the Proteas they have that mentality that you have and decide, okay, cool, we lost to the Netherlands. Let's just give up. Poor performance by SA. Pavuma always proves his critics right. I don't know if that's 100% true what you're saying there. I mean, in recent times, he's been proving his critics wrong, actually. Today showed us that when the pressure is on the bigger stage, I'm not denying that Timber he's had a poor World Cup so far. He showed signs here and there, and it hasn't been good enough, and he needs to improve. But he also can't have that negative mentality that he's been shown. He also needs to rethink things, and he needs to go into the next game with belief. Otherwise, wow. I mean, I don't understand why you would want players to perform poorly in the first place. You'd want them to perform well. So our job as fans is to try and rally behind the team, even when they are down and they're out, and when they're performing poorly. We also play a part in trying to motivate this team to do well. Let's try to give them the best shot of trying to win the next game. That's our role as fans. That's what the role of fans is. That's what we're there for. Today showed us when the pressure is on bigger stage, we crumble no matter who plays or who we play against. England as a team is mentally more stronger than SA, and I wouldn't be surprised if England beats SA. But England already lost 2 games in this World Cup, so are they really that mentally strong? That's the question. Khalid, we haven't seen again bowling yet in this tournament. I mean, today was a great chance to bowl high, bowl him. Perhaps, maybe. Holly, I understand Timber didn't perform, and I'm not a fan of him. But we didn't deliver as a team today. Yes, we didn't deliver as a team today. That's true. As Isha should have batted first, I feel like they always don't trust their strength of batting despite what conditions say. They chose to field today because it was raining today and the weather, there was some clouds and stuff in the morning. And I don't think they expected the weather to clear up as quickly as it did. And I thought they thought that they were going to get swing. I mean, let's be honest here. It's a mistake that anybody could have made. Netherlands wanted to bowl first as well. And Matthew Hayden this morning said that the pitch it does look like it's going to swing around in the morning a bit on this wicket. And also, this ground, even without that weather conditions, has the highest degrees of spin in this tournament so far. But today, for some reason, again for South Africa, it didn't swing. So, like, it will be us that gets it on a day when it's unreadable, and then we wouldn't be able to adapt to that. I think that rain delay had a negative effect on the players. Yeah, but it's not a big enough excuse. We should have been able to chase 246 today. Definitely. Like, we should have been able to, even with the 3 wickets down, man. That's what irritates me. Is that we had the talent in this team with Klaassen and with Miller to be able to have taken this game over the line. I mean, Maharaj hit 40, man. Like, gee whiz, it really irritates me sometimes. This team really irritates me sometimes. They should close their eyes and bat first when they chase any over 5 runs per over in the World Cups. SA really should have batted first. You should always continue that, only which you are doing best. The only positive I can take from this is that all the favorites have bottled wins so far, and maybe we can turn it around. Swaka says he's disappointed with KG. I always had bad feeling on our number three batsman. I think the fans got every right to be upset and hold these guys accountable, but this is where the players should stay calm and just go again. I really hope the psychologist can work his magic. We have every right to be upset, and that's why I started this whole video with me being upset about everything and criticizing where everything went wrong. But when we look forward towards the preview, I mean, to bring that negative energy on top of what has happened is, it wouldn't be a smart move by fans. It wouldn't be a smart move by the Proteas if they approach it like that. So, hey, Harley, don't get upset. I'm also at the same position as you are, but let's be positive for the next match. Australia were in a similar position last game. Look at how they constructed the chase um, after losing against us. Playing under pressure chasing is the main concern of this SA team. Bavuma needs to talk with bowlers when they lose control. Too many wides today. Why? Terrible. The energy in the field was just off. Players were even bickering with each other. That's exactly what I said earlier on. Timber. Other teams will also use spin play now against SA. We should take something from the box. They win the knockout matches even against the informed teams. What is the mentality that leads to these upsets? Nobody, I mean, if someone could answer that, would be the $1 million question. That would be the $1 million answer, and it will solve all South Africa's problems. If we did not qualify for the semis, Bavuma should step down or be sacked. Okay. Well, I do think we need a rebuild after this World Cup. A fresh group of players, fresh team. Work towards the 2027 World Cup rebuild. Start building a positive mentality with a group of players that can grow together. That's what I think should happen. Losing against stronger team, that other thing, but losing against a weaker team again and again is really confidence got lost from players. But everything just went terribly wrong today. I mean, everything went terribly wrong today. Issa was bad in chasing even in 2015, no improvement. Burger says, I'm very sad. I will never eat a burger again. Thank you for making me. That's a funny. That was funny. I knew Van der Merwe was going to give us a hard time. This passion, especially against SA, is crazy. And why can't we play with that passion, man? Like that's what irritates me. Is like that. Like at least have energies up and continue motivating each other and stay energized in the field at least, man. Like don't drop in your in the intensity mustn't drop. At least the intensity mustn't drop. That's it. The minimum we asked for as fans. If you are the captain, you need to lead from the front. Can't carry Bavuma as a passenger did nothing for us at ICC tournaments, says Kani. I'm not sure if I'm more disappointed in myself for believing that these things would not happen again, or the fact that we didn't lose the game, but rather we gifted them the win. I may be overreacting. We need to, yeah, we gifted them the win. They also did things right. Yeah, but let's see. Lauren says, I want to see Temba and Rob face the press in the post match presser. They've got a lot of explaining to do. I don't want to see any other player coach do the presser. I didn't check who's in the presser, to be honest. I haven't announced who's in the presser. Well, I mean, I need to go check actually. Decent, as in our bats. The whole Netherlands coaching staff are South Africans who know the Proteas very well. That's true, yes, but still not a good enough excuse. How many times you will back Temba Harley, the man failing again and again in ICC events? Did I not just criticize Temba? And also on top of it, I back all of our players to be fair, is because I believe that when they've been selected, support them. Throwing negativity on them is not, it's not going to help anybody. Criticize, but being negative and things about being overly critical and negative isn't going to help anybody. Maybe they should have, especially with so many games left. Maybe they should have given Hendricks a chance today. He could have used that opportunity. He's more consistent, but he's not that consistent in ODI cricket. He's consistent in T20 cricket. His ODI record is very poor. Temba Bavuma is he has one of the best averages in this, in ODI cricket at the moment. Like, I don't know. Anyway, Hendricks don't play long innings, bro. Getting out early is one thing, but Vuma's batting builds pressure in power play as he remains more on strike and scores less, which affects other batters also. I don't think that's true in ODI cricket. Maybe in T20 cricket, yes. We compare KJ and Bumrah, but tell me honestly, what would have happened if Bumrah bowls those death overs? I'll play Hendricks with other 7 batters. Khalid, we need to talk about KG and Giri. This is crap bowling from our senior bowlers. We saw this bowling in T20 World Cup too. Yes, and we've complained about it and complained about it. They bowled really well against Australia, though. Like this is what I don't get, man. Like, we performed like that against Australia. We bowled extremely well to the plans, intensity in the field, everything was up. And then the next game against the Netherlands, and then we play like this. Like, I don't understand. This doesn't make logical sense, and there's no way to logic it out. I've always seen Muller this much affected by pressure in the last 3 years. He does, and he needs to face more. When he loses his Klaassen, when Klaassen is out, he should face majority of the balls. That should be the mentality straight up. KG bowling short always balls at low through under 30 kilometers. Even Andile is quicker than him. Rabada and Gidi are garbage. Throw them out first, and then bring Hui in. Bumrah is the best white ball bowler, way ahead of KG, especially at the death. I mean, that's like an extremely negative comment 3 games into a tournament. Like, wow. Khalid, what happens when we lose a toss and put into bat? Going to have to produce with the bat better in the first and second, dude. Um, yeah, we do. We need to perform better with the batting first or second. But like today, I actually wanted to see us chase, and that backfired. I really want Klaassen to perform today. He is the best against spin. We all know there's no way KJ and Lungi will stay 100% fit through the tournament, so why don't rotate? This will also create hunger for the incumbents, which can create more energy. Well, I don't know why they didn't want to rotate. I mean, we listened to Rob and what Rob had to say, and he said he wasn't going to, and we were kind of all thinking, okay, I guess that's the decision. But when we see Lungi didn't look 100% fully energized today. What I picked up from his body language, I'm saying, and his speeds, looked like he ran out of gas. So today might have been a good idea to play a high energy player like Lazard Williams in place of Lungi and rest him for England, because he can't bowl like that against England. What makes this even more concerning is missing out on 2 vital points. Now we have England, New Zealand, India, Pakistan, which we have horrible record against these teams. But it's irrelevant. We should have gone into this tournament thinking that we can beat everybody, obviously, like the players I'm talking about. And this shouldn't set us back too much. We should go into the next game and try to beat England. That's the only mentality that they can have. Need to rethink the death bowling strategy. We've been needing to rethink the death bowling strategy for ages. I think there was a scaring of last game against the Dutch. Scarring from the last game in against the Dutch in T20 World Cup proved the mental block. I'm sorry, Holly, but your reaction to the burger joke lifted my spirits. Sometimes it seems like we are in Alice in Wonderland with our heads. Oh, we go from laudable performance to school cricket level mistakes. Khalid, what is Temba's batting record outside of SA compared to in SA? I'm not actually sure. We go look. Don't think he's really played too many games outside of South Africa, to be honest. But I don't want to get on Temba's back now. It will be the worst thing for us to do is to get on Temba's back now. In Bangladesh, he has an average of 54. In England, he has an average of 32. Am I reading this correctly? Is this, no, this is tests. Sorry, my bad. Let me go to ODIs quickly. Um, in India, he has an average of 16. But that's because of the games that he played now. Of course, he hasn't necessarily been good. In South Africa, he hasn't really played much games outside of South Africa, to be honest. One game in Sri Lanka, we got 38 not out. And then his average in South Africa is 56.86. So there's not much to go by there. Truth is, we played horrible cricket, but on the positive side, we'd rather have a loss like this now, and hopefully we learn from our mistakes and make the necessary improvements. And that's something that I think they need to do. I hope that happens. I can relate to this podcast as some as Khalid. I can relate this podcast as some as South Africa lost to as same as South Africa lost to T20 World Cup to same review. Yeah, I agree with you about rotations. Hardly take my comment. I have been. Khalid, if Timber fails next 2 3 games, should SA carry him just because captaincy? Riza should see again from Riza would see again for from the bench. I mean, by all means, if Pavuma continues to perform like this, the coach should consider it. I'm not saying that he shouldn't. Um, but Riza Hendricks' performances in ODI cricket has not necessarily been at that high level. Um, when there's a World Cup at stake, then you need to take everything into consideration and make the best decision that is for the team. And I just want South Africa to make the best decisions for the team. Whether that is dropping Bavuma, whether that is keeping Bavuma, whatever the case may be, whatever the right decision is, I would like to see them make. Um, from my understanding of cricket and from the times that I've watched it, players that have good averages tend to come right or tend to come good at some point. Every single cricketer, even the best, have have bad games and perform badly. But that's why the average is 56 and not 100%. Because in 50% of the of matches he should perform. So he should be getting at least 50. I mean, he should be getting that. Obviously not what average means. It's the average runs you can score per game. But I mean, what I'm trying to say is when a guy has an average of 50, you tend to think that and believe that he will come right in certain games. And England is a team that is the perfect team for Timber to find his form. And I thought today was going to be it, and it wasn't. And now he needs to refocus and just the best thing for Timber is to now refocus is to put this game behind him. They shouldn't allow this game to affect him at all. Hollywood are still third position at with a decent run rate. Next game is against England. If we lose that, then every game after that is a do or die. Let that sink in. Yeah, but it's like that for how many teams though, Dix? The only teams that are unbeaten are New Zealand and um, the only unbeaten teams are New Zealand and what's the team? India, and I think Pakistan as well. Pakistan as well, right? Um, yeah, Pakistan has lost one. So it's only India and New Zealand that have won all their games. So we need to take them. We have to have hope, some sort of hope. And for Lungi would have been decent today. Andy for Lungi would have been decent today. He's an extra batter as Lungi blocked a million balls at the end of the innings for his batting average. Riza was brilliant last year in India ODI against the Indian spin too. Khalid, the problem is Temba is scared outside home. I don't think that he has that experience to play in India. Look at that shot playing against the turn today. India beat Pakistan. Yeah, Pakistan lost against India. Yeah. Khalid, not going to be making excuses for our performance, but are the Indian pitches and conditions extremely unpredictable considering what happened to England? The pitches have been unpredictable because some of the pitches have been delayed, and certain pitches are not playing in the same manner as what we saw in IPL in previous ODIs. So the pitches are a bit unpredictable. Like today, the ball was even Matthew Hayden and the experts that did the pitch report, they expected some swing today in the morning sessions, in the game today, at the beginning of the game today, and it offered absolutely no swing. So that is something that we need to obviously look into when it comes to that. Um, guys, I'm going to if it is available, I'm going to read. Oh, it's not, unfortunately. Okay, it's not available. Um, we're gonna have to react to that tomorrow. Unfortunately. Um, it's good to lose now rather than losing the knockout, but you have to win these games to reach the knockout. Yep. Does this team have leadership group? I don't think so. Should have. We should learn from New Zealand on how to give minnows absolutely no chance to win. They just don't lose against minnows. It's very early, guys. We don't know what can happen running into the rest of this tournament. Just because we lost against a minor team, it doesn't mean we forget how to win against strong teams. We need to perform according to our full potential, and we can outperform anybody. Today's loss only means one thing, that Timber learned absolutely nothing from the loss against the Dutch last year. He repeated those same mistakes again. Says Dex, forget the today's game. Next match against England in Mumbai. High scoring ground. Who should come in? Please discuss. We will do that in the preview. Can things get any worse for the Proteas? I don't think we play this badly against. That's a positive I'm taking. We can obviously lose again, but at least put a better performance in. That's a positive that we can take. And I'm hoping we take that positives going into this particular game, into the next game. Hopefully. Adrian Silva said, Harley, why aren't you visiting India for the T20 for the World Cup? Funds, bro. That's expensive. And I'm running this on a shoestring budget at the moment, this business. We don't have any, there's no sponsors, etc. To be able to sponsor it. So that's why it's extremely expensive to go to India for this tournament. So that's the reason why not. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna call it there. Thanks a lot for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Click the notification bell for all future videos, please. Also, smash the like button, comment, and share. Subscribe to Cricket Fanatics Magazine monthly. Every issue is 100% free. Stay to your inbox every month. The link is on the screen as well as in the description. Um, Become a patron today to show your support. Go to cricketfanaticsmag.com for all regular updates. Um, did Aditya leave Cricket Fanatics magazine? No, there aren't anybody. There's nobody employed by Cricket Fanatics magazine. I'm the only person that actually is employed by the company. It's my company, but it's my publication. Nobody's really employed by us. We have people that contribute with articles, and Cricket Fanatics magazine is a place for all fans to be able to share their opinions. That's the whole point of this. Any news on who's doing the presser? Harley Rob Walter did the presser. Um, so everybody's allowed. That's what this platform's for everybody to give their opinions. If you guys want to write articles as well and send it in and want me to post it on our site, we can do so for you. So you just email us, and we'll if your PC is legit, we'll put it up on the site for everybody to read. I've created this platform to give fans an opportunity and a voice. This is not only about my opinion. This is not only about me. This is about all of us. I wanted to build a community for everybody to be able to share their opinions. That's why I try to read as many live chats as possible when I get the chance, because I try and give your guys' opinions as well. Um, but anyway, guys, thanks a lot for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I will see you guys again tomorrow with another daily show. Stay safe. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Sorry about the loss. Let's bounce back from this as a team, as a community, and support the Proteas in the next match. Peace out, everyone.